Most token launches fail, not because the team had bad ideas, but because investors had no easy way to separate legitimate projects from rugs before contributing. The security score on MoonSale exists to solve that problem. Every pre-sale and fair launch on MoonSale receives an automatic score the moment it goes live. The score is calculated out of 50 points using 11 independent security checks that update in real time as on-chain data becomes available. No manual approvals, no pay-to-pass system. Just transparent rules applied equally to every project. The checks are divided into 4 weighted tiers, with the most important security factors carrying the highest score impact. At the top are 3 critical checks, each worth 8 points: liquidity lock duration, team token lock, and contract verification on the Block Explorer. Next are 4 high-tier checks worth 5 points each: presale allocation percent, liquidity percent, KYC verification, and audit completion. Then 2 standard checks worth 2 points each: token deposited on-chain and no blacklist function. Finally, 2 low-tier checks worth 1 point each: social presence and soft cap size. 3 times 8 plus 4 times 5 plus 2 times 2 plus 2 times 1 equals 50 total points. Each check is graded from 0 to 3 and then weighted, so partial commitment still earns partial credit while encouraging stronger security behavior. If a project scores 0 on any critical check, MoonSale immediately shows a red Critical Risks Detected banner, regardless of the total score. Even a 4250 project will still be flagged if liquidity is unlocked. This ensures one major flaw cannot be hidden behind strong overall performance. The Security tab uses simple color coding: green for full score, light green for low risk, amber for medium risk, and red for high risk. Gray means data is still loading or not applicable. For investors, the workflow is straightforward. Open a launch, check for any critical warnings, then review all 11 categories before making a decision. A practical baseline helps investors interpret the score. Projects above 3050 with no critical risks can be considered a minimum starting point for further review. Scores above 4050 with all critical checks in green indicate stronger preparation and lower structural risk, though they still require independent due diligence. The security score is designed as a first filter, not a guarantee. It highlights technical and on-chain risk factors, but it does not evaluate team intent, market conditions, or future execution. Investors are still expected to assess the project's roadmap, tokenomics, and credibility beyond the scoring system itself. For project owners, achieving a high score is a structured process. Lock liquidity and team tokens for at least 365 days, ensure contracts are verified on BSC scan, and allocate at least 55% of supply toward presale and liquidity combined. Maintain liquidity at 85% or higher. Complete KYC and submit a full audit. Fill all required social fields including Twitter, Telegram, website, and logo. Set a soft cap of at least 50 BNB. Meeting these conditions allows a project to reach a full 50/50 security score, signaling strong baseline trust and transparency on MoonSale. The goal of the security score is to act as a first-layer filter for investors evaluating new launches. It standardizes risk signals into a simple, readable format, so users can quickly identify red flags before committing funds. By combining automated checks, weighted scoring, and clear visual indicators, MoonSale reduces reliance on hype or marketing claims. However, the score is only one part of the decision-making process and should always be paired with independent research. Visit moonsale.app and open the Security tab on any launch to see the system in action. The system is intentionally designed to stay objective and fully data-driven. Every check is tied to on-chain or verifiable off-chain signals, ensuring that no project can artificially manipulate the score through branding or presentation alone. As data updates in real time, scores may shift during a pre-sale or fair launch phase. This reflects changes in liquidity, contract status, or other dynamic factors. Investors are encouraged to monitor updates rather than relying on a single snapshot. Ultimately, the security score is meant to simplify due diligence, not replace it, helping users focus on meaningful risk factors instead of surface-level marketing claims. The scoring model also helps standardize comparison across different launches. Instead of manually evaluating each project from scratch, users can quickly compare security strength using a consistent 50-point framework. This makes it easier to distinguish between projects that are structurally sound and those that rely mainly on hype. Over time, it also encourages better behavior from project teams, since stronger security practices directly translate into higher visibility and trust on the platform. platform. In this way, the security score becomes both a user protection tool and a quality benchmark for the ecosystem. From a project perspective, the score also acts as feedback. Teams can immediately see which security areas are weak and adjust their setup before or during launch. This creates a more incentive-driven environment where better security practices are rewarded with higher visibility and investor confidence. It also encourages earlier transparency. Instead of adding security measures after concerns arise, teams are pushed to implement them from the start, so they don't lose points in critical categories. This alignment between incentives and investor protection is a core design principle of the system. Finally, the security score is positioned as a starting point, not a final verdict. It highlights structural risk signals, but it cannot capture everything about a project's future success or failure. Market conditions, execution quality, and team credibility still play a major role that no automated system can fully measure. For that reason, users are always encouraged to combine the score with their own research before making any investment decision. The system is meant to reduce blind spots, not replace judgment. In simple terms, it is a filter, not a conclusion.